Hi, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. This is a quick overview of our services BizCORE. It's a combination of 9 pages that do various calculations. This is the dashboard that returns different summaries of information that you would like to see. This is set up this particular way. But this can be customized and adapted, moved around. Different charts can be put in, pull up different information. Here's that monthly snapshot that looks up a particular month and returns the information and then reflects it over here. So we can adjust this to return whatever information you'd like to see on a quick basis. Then we go into our income and expense statement. And this is very traditional. Most of you are probably very familiar with this already, where it brings in your core operations revenue, and your direct expenses, management and supervision for a total cost of goods sold, and a gross operating profit to run the rest of your business on. And that's where the G&A expenses come in. And then it brings it down to your cash positions at any particular time, your net profit for that particular month, owner distributions, and an EBITDA calculation. Now, the service and labor tab, this page in particular is the core of your business. This is the part of your business that it's the reason why you got into business. It's the part you're most passionate about. And so this is where we always dig in deep on a particular business. So we're going to set up the labor and personnel that are associated with running just the core of your business. This is not for executive and admin type positions. The operating hours, any parts that are included in any of your services. And then down here, you're going to define the services that you're providing to your customers. You actually design the service both in time and the type of technician that's involved in it, and the times that are associated with providing those services. Then looking at what are the costs involved, are there any supplies involved, what are the parts that come into this. Then from that, it's going to tell you what your daily capacities are, how much of each of those services, because services are driven by time, so you can only do so many in an 8-hour day or a 10-hour day. And so it calculates all of that for you here and projects out the profitability, how much labor you need in order to reach those goals. And then it's going to come down and give you all of those calculated projections. You're going to program in what your sales goals and expectations are, and then it calculates a lot of other details as far as how much labor is required, and how many services were actually provided. Your G&A input, if you've watched a couple videos, you know already how dynamic this is. And this brings in several things from all these other pages, your total revenue, all the expenses from your services and labor, then other calculations for other general and administrative costs, and then data entry fields for different ways of entering G&A costs that get distributed much more accurately than just bucket numbers. Then it has an area for accounts receivable, your cash flow, as well as your net profit, owner distributions, and your EBITDA, of course. Now, once you've set up your services and labor, you're now going to look at all those numbers that you projected as far as your sales goals are go, and this is your revenue goal of what you're shooting for. So where is that going to come from? Our approach to that is it obviously comes from marketing and sales efforts and other sales methods. So now we're going to back into that number by assigning certain expected returns from marketing channels, advertising vehicles, other sales methods such as walk-in customers, outside sales, networking, or an existing customer base that you may have. And here again, it's in green, so it's all changeable. What percentage of that revenue are you expecting to generate from these various areas? Are there any other costs like revenue shares or commissions to be paid? Your foot traffic, your car traffic potentials. And then you're going to actually project what those costs are, what you need to spend in each of those marketing and advertising channels in order to reach those particular sales goals that you would set up in your services and labor. Next thing is admin staff. Your admin staff, this is a very dynamic worksheet as well, where you can define all the various positions that you're anticipating or currently have, whether they're annual salaries or hourly positions, and what else is involved in that compensation, as well as any annual increases, and then what month do those positions start. And then they are all calculated out in here, and then these numbers all go into your G&A input and your income and expense, and so therefore can be referenced in your dashboard if you want to see any of this information. CapEx, capital expenditures and startup budget. This is also a pretty dynamic page where you can enter in all these green areas by category. They're set up for 5 different categories. And you can either direct enter right here with $1 per unit and a number of units required. It calculates the cost. Or you can drop in a bucket number if you already have a quote. Or this can even be linked to other worksheets that we may wind up creating for you. Then whatever that dollar amount is gets assigned over to a funding source. Where is the cash going to come from that's associated with these particular expenses? And so as you check these off in all these different categories, it's going to summarize it all for you down below here. Now you notice that the first column is a loan, second column is a lease, cash for equipment, or cash for consumable items. And then it all gets summarized down here. And then these gross loan amounts go into the loan